Yes, it is still happening. And all these histories are supposed to make you open your ears and listen and apply that to your life. That is why at the end of it all we ask you, now that you know, what would you do? My brother, my sister, today we're talking about Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton. F-R-E-D for Fred, and Hampton is H-A-M-P-T-O-N. H-A-M-P-T-O-N. Hampton. Fred Hampton was born on August 30, 1948. And listen attentively. This is very important. My producer has put out the photograph of Fred Hampton. That's him. Look at him. Look at his face. The face of a serious man, right? Good. Fred Hampton was born on August 30 in 1948 and was killed at the age of 21. On December 4, that is today, in 1969. Let me not take the wind out of your sail. Let's go deeper. He was born on the 30th day of August in 1948. And he was born in present day Summit in Illinois. That is where Brother Kwaku lives, Illinois. Now, Summit is a village in Cook County, Illinois, in the United States of America. It has a population of about 11,054 people, according to the 2010 census. And the village is arguably best known as a place that a lot of black people have emanated and recognized. And also for the short story, The Killers, set in 1927. That was where our hero for today was born. Fred Hampton was born in Summit, Illinois, but he moved to Maywood where he grew. Both are suburbs of Chicago. Now his parents moved from Louisiana during the Great Migration. And the Great Migration, also sometimes known as the Great Northward Migration or the Black Migration, was the movement of 6 million African Americans out of the rural southern United States to the urban northeast. And this happened between 1916 and 1970. So our hero grew up in Maywood, also in Chicago. As a youth, he took so much interest in his race because he saw the police brutalities. He saw the killings of black people. And he decided to go to school very well and even study law so that he would use the law to defend other black people. My God. My brother, my sister, he played football whilst he was in school. But all these things were not of importance to him, but of black activism. He graduated from the Proviso East High School with honors. My God, he was extremely brilliant. And then he enrolled at the Triton Junior College, also in Illinois, at a place called River Grove, where he majored in pre-law. And when he got that degree, he came out and decided to use it to protect black people. See what he did. There were so many gangs, black gangs, on the streets of America. And this guy, Fred Hampton, was a good organizer. He would talk to the gangs and try to get them to get off the streets and gangsterism, and then be part of the Black Panther movement to help alleviate the problems of black people. Now, this was a visionary, hear me. Black people were on the streets, gangsterism, talking and shouting. The system is not good for us. People are fighting us. So we got to fight them back. We got to shoot them. We got to find a way of making money, Yeah, we got to shoot them. We got to steal. I said, no, you don't need to steal. Rather, let's come together, fight the system, and make sure that we use the same system and the legal way to get ourselves recognized. My brother, my sister, this was what he did. In no time, so many of the gangs disbanded and joined the Black Panther movement. And he spoke to them every now and then. He knew every neighborhood, and he knew who was a gangster and who was not a gangster. Not knowing as he was doing this, the FBI had an eye on him, and the FBI decided to put him on a list of terrorists because they realized that he was a good organizer. He was a man who could organize people in no time, get them off the street so that they will bring their strength to push black movement. The FBI studied and projected that if this man was allowed to live another 10 years, the black movement that will spring out of America will be uncontrollable. Listen attentively. The FBI projected that if Fred Hampton was allowed to live another 10 years, the Black Panther movement and all other black movements will become uncontrollable. They will take over the whole of America. And they did not want that. They want black people to always remain the minority. They want black people to always be the hewers of wood and drawers of water. They want black people to always continue to be begging for the crumbs of their table. And this guy, within no time, he organized so many people to be part of the movement. And he defended every single one of them against police brutality. My God. The ladies, the men, everybody loved him. So what did the FBI do? What did the FBI do? The FBI chief, J. Edgar Hoover, the same man in the Martin Luther King issue, the same man, my brother, my sister, in the issue of Marcus Garvey. The same J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI chief who supervised the killing of a lot of black heroes, was unleashed on Fred Hampton. But they knew that there was no way they could find him culpable. So they tapped his mother's phone. The FBI tapped his mother's phone. And all the conversations his mother had, they heard everything. And they knew he was close to his mother. My brother, my sister. This happened in 1967 when the FBI opened a file on Fred Hampton, our hero. They tapped into his mother's phone in February 1968. My brother, my sister. And then they started trailing him. They saw him as a key militant leader who, when allowed to live another 10 years, the black movement in America will swallow up every other movement. And they were bent on stopping him. In late 1968, the FBI was ready to do more. They recruited another man called William O'Neill to also try and bring down Fred Hampton. My God. They tapped into other phones. My God. But for some reason, Hampton was able to tell that the FBI was on his heels. The Black Panther Party rose so quickly. More people were joining, and he became the director of chapter security. My God. He became the director of a whole chapter. And he was the one who dealt with the security legally of the whole Black Panther movement. he took a man known as O'Neill to be part of him and be his personal bodyguard. My God. In 1969, the FBI arrested our hero for today. Why did they arrest him? They brought some flimsy charges against him, but everything fell flat. Flat. Brother, my sister, that was when he realized that the FBI was out to get him. He got anonymous letters threatening his life, and he tightened on his security. Every conversation the mother had, brother, my sister, they heard it. He had a girlfriend called Deborah Johnson. Now, Deborah has changed her name from Deborah Johnson to Equia Njeri. She is still alive. My brother, my sister. So the FBI did everything possible to try and get him out. In early October 1969, Hampton and his girlfriend Deborah Johnson, now called Equia Njeri, who was pregnant with their first child, who later became known as Fred Hampton Jr., rented a 4.5-room apartment at 2337 West Monroe Street. And they rented that house specifically to get closer to the Black Panther headquarters. O'Neill reported to his superiors that much of the Panthers' provocative stockpile of arms was stored there, and drew them a map of the apartment in early November. Brother, my sister, let me draw your attention to something interesting. When Fred Hampton was looking for a bodyguard, and this is important, because his life was being threatened by the FBI, you know what happened? The FBI had arrested a black man by name O'Neill. William O'Neill. And they made him an agreement. They made him a deal. Listen, we are going to plant you in the Black Panther movement. We'll give you a certificate to show that you are a security expert. And you would be the bodyguard of Fred Hampton and report his every movement to us. That is the photograph of O'Neill. My brother, my sister. So they planted him. A black man, William O'Neill. God have mercy. And he was so close to Fred. And then he told the FBI that there were guns in the house of Fred Hampton. And even drew a map of the house, the new house that they had moved to. And then the FBI got ready. They met with O'Neill several times. Most of them in the midnight time. Oh my God. And they planned that they would deal with this man. So his bodyguard decided to put barbiturates in Hampton's food, sleeping tablets. So when he fell asleep, he called the FBI. And then they came in. It was 4 a.m. in the morning. The heavily armed Chicago police came in, divided themselves into two groups. And then they broke into the apartment of Fred Hampton and his girlfriend at 4:45 a.m. When they entered, of course, he was fast asleep. They fired and fired and made sure they killed him immediately. They shot him in the chest, killing him instantly. My God. His own bodyguard dragged him. My God. They went to some other Black Panther members and shot and killed one other person and injured a lot. And the police started jubilating that they had killed Fred Hampton. And truly, they had killed him. Today we remember the story of Fred Hampton. They killed him at the age of 21. His wife was pregnant. They did not shoot his wife. My producer has posted a photograph of his room, very small room. Look at the bed. They shot him on the bed. Look at the blood all over the bed. My brother, my sister, they shot and killed him at 4:45 a.m. today in 1969. After that, investigations went on, and then they ruled that as justifiable homicide. In other words, the killing was justifiable. That he was a dangerous man who was a threat to American security. He was not dangerous just for the sake of being dangerous. He was dangerous because he loved his race. He loved the downtrodden. But they used another black man to finish him up. And that's his photograph lying in state as people walked around to look at him. He was buried. But the family decided to go to court. And in 1970, there was a ruling. The family got barely over 1 million. That's 1.85 million American dollars in compensation for the assassination of Fred Hampton. Today we remember the story of Fred Hampton. Now there is a public pool that has been named in his honor in his hometown of Maywood, Illinois. In 2006, supporters of Hampton's charity work proposed the naming of a Chicago street in honor of the former Black Panther leader. My brother, my sister, on the 7th of September in 2007, a bust, that's a small statue, of Hampton was erected outside the Fred Hampton Family Aquatic Center. The bust is a statue up to the chest area, normally a small one. My brother, my sister, when he died, there were so many reactions from the former gangs, but he was gone. In 1999, they had TV miniseries, the 60s. Fred Hampton was portrayed in that. And in literature, there's a book called The Assassination of Fred Hampton, how the FBI and the Chicago police murdered the Black Panther. It was released in 2009. And Stephen King refers to Hampton in his novel, which he released in 2012, where a character discusses the ripple effect of traveling back in time to prevent President John F. Kennedy's assassination, which the character postulates will give rise to a series of events that could prevent Fred Hampton's assassination as well. Interesting book. You need to get it and read. My name, Black Rasta, has been the African History class. And today we remember the sad story of Fred Hampton, killed at the age of 21. He left behind a pregnant wife who has changed her name now to Equia Njeri. Today we remember this great personality. Today we remember Fred Hampton. And in the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know, what would you do? This is what they keep doing. When they see a black man who has become so powerful, they plant other black people around you to finish you. They bring criminals and promise them freedom if they help them accomplish this heinous crime. This is the wife. Her name is Equia Injeri. She used to be called Deborah. She changed that name. And that's their son, who Fred Hampton never lived to see. Today we remember the life of Fred Hampton. In the burden of knowledge, now that you know, what would you do? Be an any ole, mini obafe. Yezunda kagane, meza kayine. Ya impa bango, bokaya nang, fifia inya, no kaya na wo. Banayon, ebeden. Missy Banayon, ebe abade. My name is Black Rasta. I want to say thank you so much for listening. It's been the African History class. Of course, today we've been talking about Fred Hampton.
Genie